Hi, and welcome to this interview about art making during the pandemic. I'm your host, Leah Canel, student and self-proclaimed theater maker here at Lehigh University. Today, I'm here with two guests who have kindly agreed to share insight on process, production, and research strategies students wanting to promote social change through art go through on a daily basis. First, please introduce yourselves to our audience. You're invited to share anything that is comfortable for you before we get on with the interview. And then I'll open it up to a few questions. Aiden, would you like to go first?
Sure. Hi, my name's Aiden. I am a junior at Lehigh University. I am in the integrated degree of engineering, arts, and sciences program, the ideas program, for specifically mechanical engineering and theater design. My pronouns are he, him, his. I have just recently kind of gotten into theater as my concentration, and I was brought onto the BeyondBars team over the summer as part of the Mountaintop Initiative.
Wonderful, thank you.
My name is Eliza Howard. I'm a senior here at Lehigh University. I'm an integrated business and engineering major with the focus of industrial and systems engineering. I got involved in theater my first year here on campus, and I got involved in BeyondBars partway through my junior year as an actor, and then brought onto the project over the summer.
That's wonderful. Thank you guys for sharing. So, the purpose of this conversation is just to build empathy among our audience and talk a little bit for our theater community about why we're doing this project and what it is that excites us. So, the first question I'm going to ask you guys, and anyone is free to answer, is whose story are we telling?
I would say that, for the most part, we want this project to be, we want to act more as conduits of story as opposed to actual storytellers, if that makes sense. We see we see a place for us to share our own stories for sure, and we have a couple of pieces that are directed towards that. But for the most part, we want to be, like I said, conduits of other people's stories, using this platform to share their experiences, share their stories with the audience that we might be able to touch a little bit more than they could in their normal lives.
Wonderful.
Well, as college students, we don't get to see a lot of other people's stories. We see a lot of other students with similar stories that they all came to college. So getting to share stories that are so different from our own. I know personally when I got involved in the acting project or end the project as an actor, I got to learn about stories that were so different from mine, and it really opened my eyes up to what was going outside of my own college bubble. So I think telling stories that are so different from our own life experiences really opens up people's eyes to empathy and to learn about the world from other people's perspectives.
Wonderful. And who's the they in this case? What's the focus of this project to you?
Yeah, for me at least, I came on. Obviously, this is the third iteration of the Beyond Bars project as it exists, and it's focusing on carceral abolition through the stories of people involved with the carceral system. Current inmates is what like that. That's normally the demographic that we draw from to tell these stories, but due to COVID, we did have to shift more towards people involved in the system itself, be it the actual jails or rehabilitation centers or programs, and also some formerly incarcerated folks.
Thank you. So, what makes art making necessary during this pandemic? To you.
I think that art making is one of the easiest ways to share stories. And so, especially with a project like this, being able to share this information and these stories in a really easy to digest way is really important and very helpful way to get this information spread, but it's especially useful during the pandemic, because as much as we can read books or articles, having a creative way to express these stories is much more engaging and much more personal, which is something that a lot of us are missing during this pandemic, that we're alone in our houses. So getting to hear other people's stories is a really great way to reach people that we wouldn't normally get to reach.
Yeah, and I mean, art is therapeutic. We've actually been in contact with an associate of ours, Dr. Bonnie, who runs art therapy sessions for inmates at the Northampton County Jail. And I mean, if the pandemic has taught us anything, it's that you need to take time for yourself. You need to kind of have that therapy, and art is a great way to do that. And I mean, another thing that we've talked about that is yielded from the pandemic that's actually kind of a positive is that with this art making, with this storytelling, and due to the virtuality of everything that we do, like we're currently on a Zoom call having this interview, but because of this virtuality, we can reach a much wider audience, not only for the presentations or performances of art, but also for collaboration in its making.
Thank you. Thank you both so much for your time today. And I look forward to seeing you in other presentations on this project.
Thank you.
I think